Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. What's good, what's good, what's good? Mr. Big, what's going on? Holy moly. A pretty eventful week. Regulatory updates, financial results, market trends, strategic partnerships, security concerns, technological advancements, geopolitical influences, corporate crypto moves, and exchange developments. Shabbat Shalom. What's going on, my brother? Love my Yoda. Rui Teixeira. What's going on? Daniel Coward. How are you? Max Salas. What's good? Yo, Hutanic is in the house. Oof. So, what do we have going on right now? What we have going on right now is Sundays we like to take a step back, look past, the previous week, see what happened so we can look forward to the next week and see how, we can move. I can tell you now, this coming week is not going to be fun. It is not going to be fun. Why do I think so? What was the number one thing that happened last week? I mean, and we've got a whole bunch of stuff, but what happened last week, basically yesterday, exactly yesterday. Hey, Go Fatima. What we have is tariffs that kicked in, 25% for Canada, 25% for Mexico, and 10% for China. Canada has already said, yeah, we're going to hit back. So that's not going to be fun. That's not going to be fun at all. So you've got a lot. That is going to actually, disrupt the next week. I am doing well, love my Yoda. I hope you are too. Man, it's let me tell you something, Mr. Big. It is absolutely going to be a bloodbath. Who was it last week? Hutanic said, I think we agreed on what we were looking at. But I never said a number. He did. He said the number was going to be $96,000 for Bitcoin. And right now, Bitcoin is at 97,759. It wasn't long after that mini black swan that we would have something else hit, right? You're looking at, and Hutanic is saying he's looking at a February 5th reversal going up or going down, because right now we're headed, the trajectory is down already. I don't know that it's going to be, let's see, today's the 2nd, so that would put us on Wednesday. I don't know about that. The tariffs hitting could alter that date. And the reason why I say so is because Canada says they're going to hit back. China has already hit back. Mexico is most likely going to hit back. Then we've got Marco Rubio down in Panama, right, trying to negotiate the Panama Canal. We've got China playing along with Mexico, and they might actually create a new trade route through Mexico that is north of the Panama Canal and making it even shorter of a trip. What else do we have? I think that's enough for now in terms of big things, right? So you've already, like I said, you've already got China hitting back. You already have Canada that says they're going to hit back. No confirmation from what I heard thus far from Mexico, but one would think that they're going to hit back. And then you have the markets getting rattled. So tomorrow, I think, is going to be another big down day. A turnaround on Wednesday? I don't know, man. Doesn't that seem a little soon? Because I would think that you're going to have a lot of saber rattling between then and now, right? So I don't know that we're going to bounce back by then. Around then, sure. This week, I don't know. This week, I don't know. And the only reason why I'm saying so is because I don't know that the stock market will have enough time to actually recover. I don't know about that. I mean, right now, you've got China looking for exports from the other BRICS nations. they're starting to rely on themselves. They're starting to say, well, what do we need? Well, we'll just rely on them and not the United States for certain things. So with all of this, America first, America only rhetoric, you start to realize, we're not necessarily moving in the right direction. It's going down. February 5th is when I see it climbing back up. We need to blow past 110K before March. I think we could do that before March. I just don't think that it's going to be this week that we're going to get to, that we're going to start seeing it climb up. I think there's too much saber rattling in the world. I think there are too many machinations. I think the Panama negotiations are not going to go well. Panama is really on the record of, we think there's going to be a lot of bloodshed. And I'm like, whether I agree with what we're trying to do with the Panama Canal or not, doesn't matter. I mean, you're still talking about Panama trying to go up against the United States. I don't think they want to go that far. I don't think you want to do that. That would not be a smart thing to do. Mr. Big, with regard to what you just said, he's eliminating us. No. I don't think he's eliminating. You see what I mean? I think it's that the world is starting to say, oh, we're back with this guy. Okay, we're going to eliminate you. We're going to eliminate you not from we're going to start a war. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. It's more like, we don't need you. I think now is when you start to see, it's possible that we start to see the ostracizing of the United States. He's already threatening EU with tariffs and other things. And I'm just sitting back and I'm just going, you're threatening our two biggest trade partners, Canada and Mexico. I think third is China. And now you want to go up against the EU. Who would be left if something were to happen? Who would be left to come to our aid? We would truly be standing alone, don't you think? That's a no bueno situation. It's an absolute no bueno situation. So, like, remember the other day I was telling you guys, there's a contradiction in what they have going on. It's a big contradiction in what they have going on. And right now you sit back and you're just like, where are we headed? You've got the United States looking like they want to pull out of our own healthcare system, pull out of our own educational system. Basically rendering the United States in a place where we're not going to be smart enough to defend ourselves in the future. These are devastating things that have to go into my calculations. When I think about everything that's going on, I sit back and I go, we used to be smart. Only a few are going to be smart now. Let's think about that. If it crawls up, it's going to break down again. Then we see it. Okay. I think the dates are, I think your idea is correct. I just don't think the dates are on. I don't think this week we're going to see a push back. And if anything, I think it would go up and then come back down. And then next week claw its way back up. But when you think about in the near term, if you think about what we have in terms of news that could possibly give us enough stimulus, there's nothing immediate that's going to get there. If we want to win everybody over, we're going to have to make people money. And right now, we're not even making money for ourselves. What are we doing for ourselves that's so great? Oh, we're going to cut taxes. That's great. That's awesome. Until you realize that we have a $36.5 trillion debt with $3 trillion of interest that must be paid every year. Okay, so that's not a good thing. Decreasing the amount of money that's coming in is a bad idea. And then you have no way of paying for that. And by the way, who's actually getting those tax cuts? It's not the regular people. Everybody says, oh, the tax cuts. It's not going to be the regular people. People are starting to figure out, well, you promised that egg prices would come down. It hasn't. Our economy is in for a rough ride, a very rough ride. Why are countries turning toward crypto? The people of those countries turning toward crypto? Because they don't trust their countries anymore. Who controls fiat? Their countries. They're not trusting fiat. That says that they don't trust their countries. I hate to say it. I think that's where we're headed. Pax G at 2887. Listen, people were talking about 4,000, 5,000. I am not surprised. I know what you meant, Mr. Big. As soon as I saw the RR, I was like, okay, I know what he means. I just don't see it. Right? So I'm sitting back and I'm making my calculations. Here are my risks. My risks are we're going to have immediate higher expenses. Right? It's not now hold on a minute. It's not to say that things won't get better over time. It's just that the pain that we're going to feel in the immediacy is going to be hard. And it's going to be felt by those that can't afford to feel it the most. Right? Because you're going to give tax cuts to the rich? When was the last time you saw that trickle down? It hasn't, ever. The wealth gap has done nothing but increase. Nothing but increase. So if the wealth gap increases, the poor get poorer, the rich get richer. I'm sorry, the wealthier get wealthier. I told you, there are going to be two sets of groups, the haves and the have-nots. There's not going to be anybody in the middle. I might have a little bit more than that have over there, but that have over there has a little bit more than me, right? The haves are going to be fine. And they'll give the have-nots just enough to put bread on the table. I don't know if it's going to be fresh bread. Inflation should be a deduction. Good luck with that one. Rick Ritchie, I was just typing that. Sales tax should be a deduction. Good luck with that. Here's a better idea. If it's a deduction, why should we have to pay it? Big Steve, what's good? So you start to sit back and you start to realize there are certain things that, again, and I'll say it out loud. Knox Bill, what's going on? I'm actually surprised at you, Knox Bill, showing up late like this. It's very unlike you, sir. Knox Bill is usually the first person. But think about it like this. You have a job. You get paid from your job. You live from your paycheck. Even if you're investing, you live from your paycheck. The rich don't get paid. They live off of debt, hence no taxes. And they giggle about it. The more money you make, the more write-offs are availed to you. The more they're not tricks, but the more loopholes, are availed to you. I don't do anything other than buy stocks. That's what the wealthy do. They buy nothing but stocks. Good, strong stocks that are most likely going to go up. And when they go up, they get a bigger loan, or they pay down that loan, whatever it is. But the value of their portfolios increases over time. Hence, the money that they live off of increases over time. So they don't have to pay taxes. But the rest of us do. Without a doubt, the rest of us do. And the IRS comes hard after the people that don't have money. Think about that. They don't go after rich people that owe money to the IRS as hard as they go after the poor people that owe the IRS. Nope. Poor people that owe the IRS get hammered. Hammered. Oh, a couple of thousand? Oh, that could cause you problems. Oh, a few million? We can wait on it. Think about that. Hello, Paula. The system needs some I don't know what that means. Nothing to be sorry about, Mr. Big. Nothing to be sorry about. I just need enough common sense in the sentences so that I can pick up on what you're saying and I can, respond to it. Corino Dominic, what's good? So there's a lot that happens. That last word was on purpose, Hutanic, and I know it. Yeah. Rick Richard, you should go in the corner over that one. It was hilarious. But yeah, so when I look at all of the risks, if you just keep a list of risks, right? I gave you a few the other day. What was the one I had from yesterday? All right. We've got AI and what kind of immediate impact that's going to have on jobs. We have the DOGE, the Department of Governmental Efficiency, or Government Efficiency, tariffs, their overall effect on the economy. You've got the selling of government properties and the cancellation of leases or the non-renewal of leases. A lot of government leases are only from 1 year because you figure the government's never going to go out of business. So they don't get those 5-year, 10-year mandatory leases. They get 1-year leases and they just renew. Well, now, not going to renew. So now all those buildings are going to have empty spaces. All the municipalities are going to be hammering large companies to get their people to come back to the office so that they can spend their money within those cities to revitalize those cities. See what's going on? Right? Because if you live outside of the city, you have to go into the city. They bang you for that. I'm just using New York as an example. So they bang you for that, congestion pricing. Then you have to buy your lunch, buy your breakfast. Even if you, bring food from home, you just traveling within the city brings them money. If your company doesn't supply you with liquid beyond water, you've got to go outside to go buy that soda. If you go buy the soda, are you going to buy the bag of chips? You see what I mean? Because you're not going to want to bring your food from home. Hear me out. Bring your food from home. Go to the break room. Eat. You're going to get bored. Go back to your desk and keep working. So you're kind of chained to your desk, chained to the office. So you have a lot of things that you could put on your risk list. The offshoring and onshoring, or basically onshore, offshore outsourcing of jobs. That's a bigger deal than what most people think. We gave away manufacturing. That has yet to come back. And what do you hear all the time from these politicians? We're going to bring manufacturing back. How? Who's going to do that labor? Who's doing that? Because now the costs that these companies have for manufacturing is down here. If they bring it back, it's going to be up here again. They don't want that. They want those profits. They love those profits. So it's going to be a problem. But they do have to bring back manufacturing after they gave it all away. All those low-level jobs went overseas to whatever countries, and now you've got 6-figure office jobs going overseas. Or even better, you get people that come here on an H-1B visa. You want to know what an H-1B visa was meant to do? It was meant to bring in people that had the brain power beyond what we have now, right? That were available. So there might be people here that could do that job, but they're not available because they're doing that job someplace else. I need somebody for that job. So I import somebody. Walk around, look at some of these offices. They have tons of people on H-1B visas. And what's going on with these H-1B visas? they cycle back and go home. So now you have a brain drain of all these people that took these jobs and they're going home. And now those countries that they're going home to are starting to bunny hop us. Start thinking about that. Here's a grand example: the transistor radio. Great invention. Panasonic did a great job. Then they put the monotone single earpiece in. Then Sony came along, and Sony was just, oh my God, because they invented the Walkman, and the Walkman had stereo headphones. Remember, for a while it was stereo and mono? Yeah. But now you have stereo headphones. Everybody forgot about Panasonic because Sony had the advancements. Let's think about how many people come here to get educated and go back home. Think about how many people come here, get educated, get jobs, get very high paying jobs, no less, 6-figure jobs. Send that money back home because they know they're going back home. And then go get the same job at home because those jobs have now been outsourced overseas for cheaper. So they know that the money that they make here is going to be more than the money that they make back home doing the same job. But they get to jumpstart that here, go back home, and have it easy at home, and they move up the ranks faster because they have this experience. Now you have whole swaths of people going back home. Check out the All In podcast, the last one, and you'll literally hear about that scenario. You'll literally hear about it from the wealthy. They're talking about very wealthy people that have been doing this. Listen to that show for this past weekend. I listened to that show. People ask me, what do you listen to? What do you listen to? I don't listen to other crypto people. I just don't. They're either monotone, because they're only talking about one subject, and that one subject is great. They can take a really deep dive on that one subject, and I appreciate that. However, the world is not focused on one thing. There are tons of things that are going to affect my bag that are happening around the world. The movement of human resources around the world, that is going to affect my bag. The economic impacts of various countries around the world are going to affect my bag. So I pay attention at that level. But the All In podcast is a little bit different. No, I'm not promoting them because I really don't like these people. But you get to see how they're thinking. And they've got real deal stories. And this weekend, they had a really good one. And the guy gave really good examples. The guest speaker on there, he was like, well, when we were in China, we were doing this and we were doing that. And 2 weeks later, China had the same tech. So after they put their blood, sweat, and tears into it, China had the same tech. Stop and think about it. Marcus, you should go stand in the corner. Marcus Mishlusi, welcome. And he says, no one but us living mummies. You see the white hair? I remember mono. Yeah. I mean, I'm not old enough to remember cranking up the phone, but I mean, I'm not that far away, right? Right? Remember phone booths? I'm just saying. It's just really cray-cray. It's really crazy. So yeah, when I look at everything from the past week, the tariffs overshadow everything. Tomorrow, I'm expecting big problems from the stock market. If we don't have big problems from the stock market tomorrow, I will be shocked. I will be absolutely shocked. I'm Anqua. How are you? Sorry, I didn't say hello before. So yeah, it's, we're looking at a whole bunch of stuff. We're absolutely looking at a whole bunch of stuff. Let's see that market cap. All right. Yeah, 97,680. Still hovering. I'm not expecting good news tomorrow from the stock market. I'm really not. And like I said, we had a lot of stuff hit last week. EU MiCA licensing. There were like 4 crypto companies that got licensing. We had Ripple securing 50 money transmitter licenses. 50. One from each state. Ripple's about to just freaking explode. Ripple has what X is having a wet dream over. Oh yeah, listen here, Mr. Big. There's nothing to be sorry about. I expect you guys to listen to other podcasts. I listen to other podcasts. I just don't listen to other crypto podcasts. That's what I said. I listen to other podcasts. I don't listen to other crypto podcasts. Because I don't know. I don't know that they do the deep dive research that I do. I've seen just, it seems like every time I try to give another crypto podcaster a chance, I'm kind of like, I've peeped in on Meet Kevin every now and then. Not a big fan of his show, but at least he's spitting facts. Do you know what I mean? He's a licensed broker. At least he's spitting facts. He's always hitting you with numbers and the data behind what, how he's thinking. Right? So I can appreciate that. Other podcasters that cover crypto, it's always like positive, 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 positive. Even when the market's going down, positive, positive. Oh, it'll come back. It'll come back. It'll come back. It'll come back. And I'm just like, what are you telling people? What are you telling people? I don't want to listen to that. I do not want to listen to that. I'd rather get emails from my friends like Hutanik, who's like, yo, did you see this chart? It's doing this. It's doing that. Oh, man. Do you see these dates? Oh, man, that's not great. And then we can have a cognizant conversation about those things. My mother just got into crypto a little while ago. We have better conversations than I've listened to with some of these other podcasts about crypto. But I do listen to other podcasts. Rick Easton, what's going on, my man? Knox Bill said, tomorrow's a good day to mow the lawn all day long. Yo, and yeah, I completely agree. I think it's going to be a good day to mow the freaking lawn. Do something else. Do something else. Yesterday I was touching on, how people need to reinvent themselves, upskill themselves, and things like that. Do that. You have a number of events right now that are telling you we should be thinking about this. Market trends, Bitcoin, Bitcoin and Ethereum getting bought up, new ETFs coming out. You have the miners ETF by Grayscale that's coming out, or it's a trust. I think it's a trust. Well, no, they're proposing the ETF, MNRS, as an ETF. Mr. Big, you did find me. Thank you very much. I'm blessed that you did. I'm blessed that all of you have. OM moved. Hey, Joaquin, hope you're feeling better, my man. Moved nicely since I was away. Yep, because you weren't here hawking it. Just busting your chops, only busting your chops. It did move nicely. I noticed it. Hey, Bianca. Go to your house. Do you have a podcast? If you do, shoot me the note. I'll peep that. I will definitely peep that. But yeah, I'm just looking at everything that happened last week, and I can't, El Salvador's IMF deal, they rolled back a few things and scaled back a couple of things with regard to how they're handling Bitcoin and not making it mandatory for businesses to have to accept it. That's a big deal. That's a very big deal. El Salvador was a hair away, from dropping their fiat. The IMF does not want that. They do not want even the smallest of countries to accept Bitcoin on that scale. At the state level, oh man, state meaning country, oh man, that's a no bueno situation for the IMF. Earning income, usable income will become absolutely harder as we go each year. Hutanik, nail on the head, man. I've been hearing all these people buying BTC, and it's still going on. Don't make sense to me. What do you mean it doesn't make sense to you? They're buying BTC for a reason. They're buying it for a reason. The world is in debt. Right? The world is in debt. The United States has the biggest debt, but we're not the only ones in debt. The world is in debt. So with the world being in debt, how do you handle that? In the past, it was war. That's right. You heard what I said. In the past, it was war. Physical war. Don't you think we're at war right now? North Korea keeps stealing money. Literally stealing money. And wreaking havoc. And our only thing against North Korea are sanctions? Ha 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 ha. Do you think that with the new regime being in office right now that, those hacks are going to stop because, there's a love affair between him and him? No. If anything, I think it'll get worse. If anything, I think it'll get worse. And who are they hitting? They're hitting organizations that are holding crypto on behalf of. Why do you think I have non-custodial wallets? So the other day I directed two people, they asked, how would you learn? I gave them ideas on how they could learn. The ideas that I give on how they could learn is go to Coinbase, do what you're going to do, learn, and then eventually you'll learn the difference between a non-custodial wallet and a custodial wallet. And then you will move off of Coinbase. But you have to have that understanding first. Go to Coinbase, make a couple of trades, see what that means, get the education that they give you for free, and then you will move your assets to a non-custodial wallet. Like Exodus, like True, right? You'll get yourself a hardware wallet like Ledger. You'll start using Lace and staking. You'll start doing things that are a little bit more grown up. I had somebody call me up yesterday and was like, hey, I need a new bank. What's a good international bank? I said, well, you're going to have to find a bank that allows you to open up a bank account without being present. Go do research on that. Before, the quickest place that you could do that, Panama. Do you think you should be doing that now? No, not Panama. Because we're trying to take back, the United States is trying to take back the Panama Canal. So it's not going to be Panama. Just saying. I am in distribution mode. If I accumulate, it's Pax G, like making sausages. I don't even know what that analogy means. I don't know what that analogy means. I don't get that one. You should have to go to a corner for that. You're gonna have to fix that one. You have to fix that one. It's either got to be funny or factual. But yeah, you have a lot of stuff that's going on. Right? Corporate crypto moves, SoftBank's Bitcoin mining investment, Norway sovereign wealth boosting, its BTC exposure, NASDAQ listed firms adopting Bitcoin. You had a lot of NASDAQ listed firms adopting Bitcoin last week. Exchange developments, Coinbase's push for more altcoins because they're thinking about changing their listing practice. Huh. They see what's coming. What's coming is banks are going to be in the same business. They're going to overlap the business that they're in. That's what they see. A bank getting in the game is going to be big. Knoxville, only I can send people to the corner. Nobody else can send people to the corner. You were in the corner earlier because you showed up late. You're normally way early. So, you were in the corner. Max, I think I haven't sent Max Salas to the corner. He's slick. He stays quiet for a little bit. I think I might have sent him to the corner maybe once. But he's due. I think that both of you actually do. I mean, getting sent to the corner because you're late, that doesn't really count. You gotta have a corny joke. You have to make or you gotta have a really funny one that makes me bust out laughing. Or you giving me a nod on something that I said as a good joke that makes me laugh. That'll be another one that'll land you in the corner. Getting sent to the corner is actually a good thing. It's actually a good thing. Because you're building a community, right? We are building a community. So getting sent to the corner means I'm familiar with you, right? It means we're familiar with each other. And that's what the community is about. It's about us being familiar with each other so we can actually help each other build our respective bags. I get emails from a whole bunch of people, or my crew and I, we get emails from a whole bunch of people, and they're talking about, have you looked at this? Have you seen that? It's the exchange of ideas that we're building. It's that exchange of ideas. And it's awesome. I'm realizing I don't know all of my exits, shaking my head. One of the tokens I hold doesn't have much liquidity. Well, can you get out? Weigh whether or not you should get out. Take your loss, lick your wounds. Right? I made money off of Trump. Ha ha ha. I'm still holding some coins because I figure even if it takes a dip, I think sooner or later it's going to go up. They can't stop grifting. So now you can buy merch using the Trump coin. Can't stop the grift. Sooner or later it's going to go up. I still think it's going to wind up being $100 coin. Sooner or later it'll get there. So that piece, it's not even my money that I'm holding in that coin anymore. I made my money and I pulled out my money and some profit. What's left is not my money. I don't care. That's ultimately where I like to be with coins, with that kind of I don't care stuff, because it enables me to say wherever I make my money, I get to yank that out and put that money someplace else to get to work for me. That's the idea. That's the idea. So if you're holding on to a coin like Trump, where it might not have liquidity, but it has name and you can see it coming, okay, great. If it doesn't, listen to what Mr. Big just said, I'd be bouncing. I'd be getting out, lick my wounds, take my losses, and move on. That's what I'd be doing. Gucci now takes SHIB. Yup. I'm telling you, you're going to see more and more businesses start to say, oh, we need to start accepting crypto. Everybody thinks I'm shilling my own companies, but yeah, I am. I've got one of the few companies out there that can host your e-commerce website and have you accept crypto on an OTC level, meaning there's no middleman in between. I'm sliding out slowly. What the hell do you mean slowly? Yank it out, bro. Rip the Band-Aid off. What are you doing? The GMB3, Ham's house. Do your own research. Know your entries and exits, and invest deliberately. Investing deliberately is not just the idea of putting money in. It's also knowing how to yank your money out. The investment process isn't just putting money in or putting assets in. Just saying, it's also knowing when to cut your losses, when to take your wins. Just saying. Fultz, what's going on? So Ham's house, you learn something in the process, and that makes it not a total loss. You recognized, ooh, Paula, gem. That's a gem right there. Thank you, Paula. That's a gem right there. If you learned something, you won. Now go put it to work. Don't wait. You could wait. What did I just tell you? I'm expecting the markets to take a hit tomorrow. So you go do your own research. If you think the market's going to take a hit tomorrow, don't you think that coin is going to take a hit tomorrow? Do you think that coin is going to have a chance to come back up? Fultz into his house. It's morning? It's morning. Where the heck is it morning? Australia? I know you told me before, but I don't recall off the top of my head. Rookster, what's going on? Are you going to have a platform for your members to connect? Don't ever curse at me like that again, Fatima. It will not be Discord. We're actually really, really close to relaunching Grow My Bag. That will be the platform. That will be the platform. Australia. There you go. 8 a.m. Damn. It's doing up so early, man. Oof. That's painful. Hold it. It's 8 a.m. Monday there, isn't it? Or is it 8 a.m. Sunday? Like, what day is it? Because you're behind. I think it's your Sunday, I believe. there is a greater chance of up from here than down. If wrong, just hold. It's not a loss till it's a loss. It's not a loss until you realize it. It's 8 a.m. Monday there. Thank you for that. It's gonna hit. I'm gonna buy. I'm not buying anything until I see how the stock market is going tomorrow. Yo, Sunday from Lagos. What's going on, Amar? Thank you for joining. I appreciate that. We're in the future here. How's the stock market then? I just want to know, how's the stock market opening up? But yeah, I'm thinking I'm not doing anything until I see the stock market. When I wake up in the middle of the night and I look at how Bitcoin is moving, how the alts are moving, what am I going to be seeing? Right? Bitcoin is at 97,176, so it's gone down a hair since I started. Sunday from Lagos. Shall we sell XRP? I'm not selling any XRP. There's a whole bunch of other stuff I'll sell before I would ever sell XRP. That's not happening. I am definitely going to buy the dip, but I'm not selling anything to buy the dip. I've got dry powder on the side. I told you how I do that. What I do is whenever I take profit, I take a percentage of that profit and I put it in dry powder. I take the rest of that profit and I choose what I'm going to do with it, how else I'm going to invest it, right? But a percentage of that profit goes over to dry powder so I can react in opportune times. So even when I'm bleeding, when you see blood in the streets, invest. That was the rule on Wall Street. So even if my blood is in the streets, I've got dry powder. And I could go do stuff. I can catch that dip. I can go catch that dip. But yeah, I said Friday? I should have sold on Friday. I mean, where were we at? Like 105? I should have sold on Friday. We're down almost 10,000. Down $8,000 right now. So I'm just like, yo, you got to do what you got to do. Do I think this is just going to be a dip and not an absolute crash? Oh yeah, I think it's just going to be a dip. But had I been smart, I'd have said, you know what? Let me take the time. Let me go sell my Bitcoin. Hear me out. Let me sell my Bitcoin at 105, all of it. Wait, let it hit the 95, 94, possibly even 93 in my head, and buy. Buy as we get close. Would I have bought back in at 97? Yes. Because I would still have, even at 97, I would have more Bitcoin dollar for dollar than I did at 105, right? I have more money to buy Bitcoin. Just saying, right? Am I going to be buying the dip? I will be buying the dip. Am I going to use all of my dry powder? No, I will not be using all my dry powder. What will I be buying? I will be buying tried and true coins. I might take a look at a long shot coin, not a long shot coin, but a meme coin. I might take a look at one of those, but I'm going to be buying steadfast coins. That's what I'll be buying. Yeah, so you're not really bleeding. They cut into the blubber. You know what I mean, Mr. Big? You're not really, like, I can't say I'm bleeding. I can't say my blood is in the streets right now, but I'm not as high as I was. I'm deflated. I would use the term deflated, right? The way that I would get that back is yank some out, wait, buy back in. Because do I think we're going to hit 110? Oh yeah, we'll hit 110. This quarter we'll hit 110. I'm thinking we're going to hit 120. So if I think we're going to hit 120, buying in while we're in the 90s, I don't have a problem with that. It's just how low in the 90s do I want to be? Just saying. So there's stuff that we could be doing. And we're just going to have to be up on that. BTC always dip around this time for tax season. I think that's going to change. There are certain norms that are there. I think there are certain norms that are going to change. 20 minutes to CME futures. My bag will bleed. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Marcus. But do you have dry powder on the side so that you might be able to react to some of these things? for example, when the market takes a hit, my dry powder, I'm absolutely going to be putting money into Cardano. I'm absolutely going to be putting money into XRP. Why? Because I think they're both built for long-term gain, especially XRP. They've got a built-in cash machine now. 50 licenses in all 50 states. Just let that wash over you. Ripple is going to go nuts, and XRP is the gas. So yeah. So yes. Mr. Big, I knew you were going to ask me that, and we discussed it a little bit yesterday, and we'll probably discuss it more tonight or tomorrow. So he's down to do it. Now it's the follow through. Right? So now we have to sit down and put together, like, how do we want to do this class, all that kind of stuff, and like do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, sit down and work through it and do it. Like, I have a process on how I do my shows. I have a process on how I write my books. Oh, by the way, my next book, about 500 pages, in with design right now. I'm expecting that at the end of it, it'll be greater than 500 pages. I mean, I have on 8.5 by 11 paper, I've got already 253 pages. So you squeeze that into a 7 by 10 book. I'm thinking about turning that into a course. I mean, I've got learning how to do your own research is already a 10-week course. 2 days a week, right? For 10 weeks. Taking way deeper dives. Did it? Hutanic says it just hit 96,000. So look at that. I could be right. We could be looking at 93 easily. I mean, not for nothing. I'm going to tell you right now, if it goes down into the 80s, I'm absolutely buying in. Imagine being able to get in at 87,000, right? And then going back up past 110. I'm just saying that's not a small thing. That's not a small thing. How pretty is it in Lagos, by the way? That's actually someplace I've actually wanted to visit. Lagos, Australia, New Zealand. There are like lots of places I actually want to visit. I have a limit order for 90,000 trying to catch a falling dagger. I'll be watching. I'll be prepared to act. But I'm not setting a buy in, an automatic buy. Not doing that. Like I said, I know what stocks I'm going to get into. I mean, stocks. I know what cryptos I'm going to get into. Right? I'll be paying attention. I will be paying attention. I'm looking to see what stocks will take a hit tomorrow. There are certain stocks I might be interested in. None of them are tech stocks. Odisho Shargan. I hope I pronounced that properly. I feel like I mutilated it. Hello. Mirza, I can't. Can I just call you Mirza? I don't know how to pronounce that, and I know that I'm going to wreck your name, and I apologize. The bell tomorrow should be interesting. Are you waiting for the bell? Screw the bell. You should be looking at after hours. Preceding hours. You should be looking at that. Look there, because that's when you'll get the hint on how the market's going to start. Now you understand why the joy I have when I wake up at 4 a.m. and I turn on the news. I'm like, oh, market interest is at this. Yeah. Do your own research is good, but this place widens your research so you learn from everybody else. Mr. Big, that's absolutely correct. Whether you're a big bagger or not, being involved in this community you really do expand your knowledge about so many different things. Think about the process that we're talking about, the GMB3. Think about it like that. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. Are we talking about just crypto? No. It's anything that you can apply that to anything that you would invest. Your time, your money, your energy, your effort, your heart, anything that you are willing to invest, the GMB3 can be applied. Period. I feel like I missed something. The dip will allow the institutions to get a good position in the crypto market. Oh, heck yeah. All they're doing is buying. The biggest culprit is BlackRock. What did they do? They started a Bitcoin ETF, and they had their other ETFs added to their portfolios. So they're always buying. It's very rare that they actually have an outflow. Just let that sprinkle over you for a little bit. They know the game. They layered that. They know the game. Rick Ritchie, I see a dip this period from the epoch. You're going to have to explain that a little bit more there, sir. And that Mr. Big is what makes GMB better than most others. Paula, thank you for that. I greatly appreciate that. I'm literally just reading to see if I missed anything. But so Amar, am I selling XRP? Absolutely not. I am not selling XRP. XRP is a bag that I'm just going to continuously grow. Cardano is a bag I'm going to continuously grow. Obviously, Bitcoin, Ethereum, those are bags I'm going to continuously grow. I think SUI is fitting into that space. There are a few others that I would say I would put into. Aave is another one that I want to put into. Why? Because it's going to grow. Chainlink is obviously one that I'm going to put into because it's going to continuously grow. Trying to do it off the top of my head. I think the problem is that I've rebalanced my portfolio recently, so there aren't really any coins that I want to give up. So I'd have to force myself to give something up to make that happen. Right? So am I in a position where I want to force myself to sell some of this stuff? I'm at a point right now where it doesn't make sense for me to sell, like, let's say Bitcoin. If I was going to sell, I should have sold at 105. And now we're down at 96. That would have gotten me a couple of bucks, right? Look at the other coins and see how much they fall in percentage wise. And you'd be able to say, oh, okay, there's your difference. There's the math. Sometimes I just let math make the decision for me. That's why I have the GMB, crypto tracker. Am I selling Stellar? No. Stellar's in the same bucket for me as XRP. Not selling Stellar. Stellar is close to the people. I freaking love Stellar. I made the mistake of giving up Stellar before. I'm not going to give up Stellar again. It's not going to happen. Stellar is going to be a highly used crypto. It is a highly used crypto. I'm not giving that up again. Bad week to be trading. You know how I tell you guys I like to know the rhythm of coins, right? Well, I know the rhythm of coins right now because my research tells me that for my portfolio, I think the market's going to go down. And am I holding anything at the level that we're at right now? Am I holding anything that I would want to give up? No. I rebalanced already. I took profit already. You know what I mean? A couple of weeks ago, I was yanking profit. I told you guys, I rebalanced a whole bunch of stuff. I dropped Doge. That was big profit for me. And I was like, oh, it's time to drop Doge. I don't think it's going to do anything. If it does, okay, cool. I've got about that much left. It'll be like as a joke. It'll be a good dinner night out if it goes up. Right? But I dropped Doge because I was majorly big. And what did I do? I dove into those coins that I think have weight, have longevity. Cardano, XRP, some Bitcoin. I bought big on Bitcoin. Right? I added to a couple of bags that I wanted to get into. I added to Kopi Peak. What was the other one? Oh, I'm gonna be really mad if I don't remember. I'm not gonna remember. I gotta look at my records. But yeah, I already dropped. So rebalancing my portfolio, I've already taken advantage. Is there anything that I need to sell that makes me feel? Not really. Not really. When I snatched Cardano the last time, it was low. It was in the 90s. So I'm like, yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm all right with that. Oh yeah, it was IAG. I bought some IAG for sure. In actuality, I had added to IAG, sir, because of you. That's actually a good thing. I told you, the big baggers, I have to tell you, what makes the big baggers brilliant is the aggregation of our brains. We've had conversations where we have literally ripped ideas apart. Somebody comes to the floor. Hey, I'm looking at this coin. This is why I'm looking at this coin. Why? A whole bunch of questions they just get hammered with questions. That's how I got Peak. That's how I got IAG. That's how I got a couple of them. But we have a whole list of coins. I think right now we're at I think the count is 13. Somewhere between 13 and 15 right now. That only the big baggers have. Only the big baggers get that benefit. Where we bring coins to the floor while we're interested in them. I mean, share the research, and then we ask each other, hey, did you get it? Oh yeah, I got in. Did you get in? Yeah, I got in. Because you came up with an argument to get it. Then I did my own research and was like, ooh, got in. Other coins, like somebody had brought up Ondo. I'm not going to say who. They're probably giggling right now. And I didn't get in on Ondo because my gut told me don't do it. I got in on something else. Sometimes that's the way it works. Just saying. Economic release every day this week. I'm not worried about the economic information that we get this week. I'm really not. I'm more concerned about what can affect us during the next Fed meeting. And those are going to be the actions. Everybody thinks it's just the numbers. It's also the actions of the new regime. If they do something that could have an effect, they're going to weigh that risk and add that to their calculus, to their calculations rather. So yeah. So the normal numbers that that I'd be looking at, well, they get superseded by the tariffs and the retaliation on tariffs. So the tariffs that the United States put out there were worth about $500 billion. China alone hit us back with tariffs that are, I think, like 690 something billion. So already those tariffs are not playing out well. Since ION is Web 2 and Web 3, they will be huge pipe to Web 2 liquidity. Maybe. We'll see. You know what I mean? We'll see. You know what we do when we get new clients and say, "Oh, we want to start a new site." And we go, "Okay, great. So you want an e-commerce site and you want to do this, you want to do that. Are you thinking about accepting crypto?" Well, why would I want to do that? And I just point to all the news. Here are all the big boys. Do you understand BlackRock? Do you understand all these other companies? Fidelity, blah, 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 blah. BlackRock's holding like what, $60.6 billion in BTC alone. Just saying. And they sit there and they kind of go, didn't consider it, but yeah, now I will. Because even if you don't get the business, you're future ready. You're future ready. Why did I tell everybody that they need to upskill yesterday? Because it makes you future ready. It makes you future ready. Everybody that looked at me like crazy yesterday and was like, "Oh, you're telling people to do this and da 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 da. What are you talking about?" Nah. I'm sitting back and I'm saying, my mother. I told you guys yesterday I was installing. I installed DeepSeek and KuCoin on her local machine. She's playing around with AI on her freaking desktop. My mother. I've got white hair. That ought to tell you something. That ought to say a lot. She's a small business owner. She used to be a paralegal by trade. She got, first half of her career, she was a paralegal. Then she got into HR. Somebody with her experience with AI on her desktop, she can go out there and get a job and like blow people away, because she'd be able to do more than people that have a job now. My mother's in the position to hurt feelings. Playing with AI on her desktop. And here's the deal. So when I built her website, our platform already has AI, integrated, where she could go inside and she could do a write-up on her products, and then AI would give her would like kind of spruce that up. And now we're about to upgrade her site. Just saying. What else is there? 2017, Fed did no QE and nothing. Global liquidity came mostly from China. Yep, but China's hurting now. Maybe with all these U.S. tariffs, other countries turn on the money printer. Yep. Who lowered rates? The UK lowered rates by 25 basis points. I think you're going to see a whole bunch of countries turn on the money printers. But here's the problem. Everybody's already in debt. I told you there are a couple of videos by Ray Dalio that will truly explain things to you. Go look up Ray Dalio's videos on YouTube. Go find them. Go to his channel and find them, and you'll understand how things are going to work. He even proposes how we could start to pay down debt. You want to know how we start to pay down debt? We stop buying $5,000 hammers, $500 hammers in the government. There are certain things that we'd be able to do that would help us do things. Let's work that out. I'm thinking that jobs are going to take a hit. I told you January. I told you early January, first couple of weeks of January, that Citi had already put aside $600 million for more job cuts this year. $600 million for job cuts. You have other companies that are looking at job cuts, and they're looking to leverage technology, to help them move ahead. I'm just saying, there's a lot going on. AIG. Hold it, I missed something. I'm just reading to see where I missed. Or IAG is what you're talking about. Iagon? Yeah, Canada hit too. I'm telling you, if you look at the world debt, look at the United States as having the most debt. You have other countries that also have debt. Everybody's in debt, including China. So yeah, China went and they spent a lot of money in Africa. They're spending a lot of money in Mexico. They're spending a lot of money around the world buying friends. And we all know money runs out. Have a lot of economies that are hurting right now. Just saying, you should be paying attention in a major fashion to what's going on out there. You really, really, really should. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and invest deliberately. The GMB3 is no joke. And like I said, that book is in with design right now. It's in with design right now. I'm expecting it to be a big book. It's gonna be a textbook. And I give you ideas on how to implement the GMB3 in the stock market, in crypto, and in business. Meaning, like, I want to invest in businesses. I want to start a bit. You can actually see how you can leverage the GMB3 in all of those spaces. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. It's going to be really good. It's not, like I said, it's not a small book. It's not a small book. Crypto Foundations for Building Multi-Generational Wealth. I mean, I want to say it's 84 pages. Not even, it's 79 pages. Technically, it's 80 pages, right? So 80 pages, and that's a heavy-hitting book. It's a small book, but it's a heavy-hitting book. I don't give all the details in that book. You want to, I mean, this book alone, this is a 10-week course. That one's a 10-week course. Learning how to do your own research is a couple of hours. And look at the thickness of this book. This is how thick this book is, right? And I'm saying the next book I have coming out is about 500 pages. It's a freaking textbook. I'm not playing games. When I tell you I want people to start thinking, I want people to do their own research, I want people to know their entries and exits, and I want people to invest deliberately, because having a job is not enough. Having a job is not enough unless your job is for your family business and you guys are just raking in the money. It's not enough. For the average person, a job is not enough. Stop buying stuff. Invest. Red bottom shoes. Make a deal with one of your friends. Whenever you talk about buying stuff to smack you in the back of the head, invest. That Starbucks, that $10 Starbucks, what are you doing? Take 2 of it. Go to the store. Get yourself a cup of Bustelo coffee in a little blue cup that they always give to you. And keep it freaking moving. Take that other $8 and friggin' invest it. Don't think you can invest $8? Yes, the hell you can. $8. Don't sit on your butt thinking that, having a job is enough, that you're going to retire on that job. You're not. Your kids aren't. Maybe you will, because you might be a little bit older, but you're not. Your kids are not. And they know it. So what are they doing? They're doing what they normally say, which is living their best life. As a dad, I do not want my kids to move out of this house until they can afford to fully buy their own. Like outright. Take on a mortgage? Nah. I don't want that for them. Because that's how they get you. Living beyond your means. No. Mommy and daddy will live beyond your means and will pay for shit. So that you don't have to, live beyond your means. That's the idea. Develop a work ethic that says, it's not that I'm not going to enjoy life. I'm just not going to waste my time buying stuff. So if it's not going to give me an experience that I'm going to remember forever, I'm not buying stuff. I'm going to invest that money. That's what we need to be doing. That's what we need to be teaching our kids. Buying bottled water. Heck yeah. Chicano, what's going on? The U.S. Reserve is like being tied down to a balloon. The other fiats tied to the U.S. assets are the only thing tied to the ground. Woof. That's a good one. I suggest we all read that again. That's a good one. Every $10 in BTC equals at least 100 in 10 years. That's a 10x. If you think it's going to hit $1 million. I mean, hell, even if it's a 7x, right? I mean, hell, even if it's a 5x, aren't you happy? Anything more than what you have now, isn't that good? Stop buying stuff. Stop buying stuff. Take a few years, bite the bullet, go through austerity, your own personal austerity. Stop buying stuff. Live tight. Live tight. You know what I tell my kids? Don't live off a credit card. Live off your debit card, because your debit card is cash. If you ain't got it, you can't spend it. Live off of cash. In the coming world, it'll be closer to cash than it will be to credit. Get off of using credit. Leasing a car, go buy a used car. Like, think about how much you actually use your car and go buy appropriately. Like, I'm not trying to buy one of these newfangled cars. I'm trying to keep my car alive for as long as I can. I'm not trying to bring on another payment. I'm not trying to have a car company that can shut down my car, even by mistake, because their systems glitched and said I didn't pay for my car. Yeah, they have that remote crap and tied into almost all the cars now. Skip that. Nope. There's going to come a point where you're going to have to hack your car so that you know your car isn't communicating outwardly. And then, of course, they'll probably increase your insurance because it's not reporting outwardly. You see how that works? The guys are saying he can't afford crypto, has McDonald's in the trash can with cases of bottled water. Oh, people are dropping gems. Yo, Rookster, have a good one, man. Thank you for signing in. But yeah, it's about 5:10. Been on for a little bit. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time, your trust, and for sharing your information with us. That's what this community is all about. Anyway, this is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. If you like what I'm doing, do me a favor, hit the like button, tell your friends about us, and if you can, go over to GrowMyBag.tv/sign-up and become a big bagger. The next big bagger private video conference call, right, is next Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's only for big baggers. So I advise you to tune in. Everybody, thank you again. Have a good one. Bye-bye.